You know what I do? I start off with a smile. Yeah, that's what I do. Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Always grateful to be here with you all to give you some tips. All right. Happy Wealthy Winning Wednesday to all of you. It's Wednesday, December the 13th. This year has flown by. And I'm here to give you some tips on how to be prepared for 2024. Go ahead and start right now, right? So, I'm just coming off of a 7-day cruise, and it's been, you know, mind blowing how the connections that I made and everything was, it was phenomenal. Like, your network is key, like getting that rest that you need. A lot of people, you know, I should say our society is built on us be just working, grinding. And you don't even think about it. Grind means to wear down. And you need that time to rest. And I've been studying a lot of millionaire, mindset books and publications and things of that nature. And a lot of them say that you have to have that rest, relaxation, vacation time. In the Millionaire Habits book, and I've listened to it like 2 or 3 times, um, it states that you're supposed to take 133 days of vacation every year. Okay. That's crazy. I know that sounds crazy, but what he says is that you get committed by doing this. You get committed by putting the deposits down, because who wants to lose their money, right? So I just want to throw that in there. Get some rest, you all. Like, take this time to reflect. So that's what I did on Monday on my live. Take this time to rest and reflect and see what it is that your life and the way that your life will go. And the only way you will be able to do that is if you rest in it, whatever it is. Okay. I just wanted to say that first and foremost. So happy Wednesday. Um, my name is Toria Howard. I am an educator. I'm in my classroom right now. I teach 6th through 8th grade English, but I'm a real estate professional and a financial literacy educator. And I'm here to give you some tips on how to be prepared for 2024 to buy your home. So, generally, the best time or more houses are going to be on the market in the spring. So starting now, during the December, January month, is essential. And a lot of people think, okay, so what is she going to really say, right? Hi, Allegra. What is she going to really say about this, right? Am I going to just tell you the process? No. First and foremost thing that you have to do is it's a mindset change, people. Like, you have to get your mind ready to encompass all of the things that home ownership brings, from being prepared through the process and afterwards, right? So the thing is, your mindset has to shift. Going from renter to homeowner can be scary, especially those of you that have been renting for a long time. Um, a lot of people don't want their responsibility, but you have to have the mindset of an investor when you're buying your first home. A lot of people say don't buy the single family home, buy the multifamily. I agree. If you have the family capacity to do that, like if you have a small family and you can buy a duplex or a triplex or a quad, and it's enough room for your family, then definitely do that. But it's a mindset of, am I ready for this? First and foremost, it's a mindset of thinking like an investor. Secondly, so you have to be ready for the responsibility and all that it entails. So you have to switch your mind from making somebody else rich to acquiring and making your legacy and your family wealthy through real estate. And if it's your first property, then you will definitely want to have that cash flow coming in to offset the money that you have to pay for your mortgage, because you don't want to spend your hard-earned money paying your mortgage. No, you have to have the cash flow. That's what I've been studying millionaires. That's what they do. They have assets, cash flowing assets that pay for their bills. It's not their job. I'm not telling you to quit your 9 to 5 or whatever, but if you got a business, hopefully, okay, or you have some side income, and that is that is occurring, then you need to be focusing on that side income being the money that that pays for your bills, and using your actual hard earned money to invest, right? So it's a whole mindset shift on how we traditionally think about money, finances, and real estate. So I know in a traditional way is I'm gonna buy a house, I'm gonna live in it, move, whatever the case may be. But in this day and time, you have to think differently, because a lot of people, everybody, well, at one point I wanted a big house and all of that. I don't really want that right now because it's only me and my daughter now. But I would, if it was, me in this situation, I would definitely, because it's just two people, I would definitely just buy a multiplex with the same amount of money that you would buy a single family home. And this is the reason why. I can have somebody move in the other units and pay the mortgage. When I stay in that place for, a few years, I built up the equity. I can take that money, I can move. You take that money that I was making that I got from the equity, and also the cash flow that's paying that mortgage. Okay, leave that there and go buy the other home and use that cash flow from that now is an investment property to finance that larger home. I've had a lot of my friends do the same thing, bought multiple houses. You have to start somewhere. And that's the mindset shift. A lot of people, because of our society, is so glamorized, with the mansions and the big houses and the things. Everybody want to go from the 1-2 bedroom apartment to the 5-6 bedroom mansion. It don't work like that unless you get a sizable inheritance. You hopefully you have the financial literacy to understand that, or you have a significant change in your income, or you win the lottery or something like that. It usually just don't happen that drastically. So you have to start somewhere. So it's called a starter, and a lot of people don't like to start where they are these days. And because we are so polarized by the glitz and the glam, I love the glitz and the glam. I love glitter. I might not look like it right now, but I do love glitter. Okay, I love diamonds and all of the things that people you see that other people have, and they have the big homes and all of that. But bring yourself back to your reality and work with what you have. That's the first and foremost thing. Your mindset has to shift in multiple different ways. One is to, you know, am I ready for this? For one. For two, I have to think like an investor. And for three, I need to start where I am and be okay with it. A lot of people are not okay with it. I helped one of my friends buy a home here in Detroit. And so whatever they'll do, I'm a Detroit people. But she thought she would never be a homeowner, ever. Um, and she didn't really want to start where she was at the moment. But once we got to talking, I got to breaking it down to her. She realized I don't have to live there forever. It's not a forever home; it's a starter. So you have to shift your mind in different avenues. So once you get your mindset, together, now it's time to strategize. So the second thing is you have to look at your finances. A lot of people, because I do credit repair services, a lot of people don't look at their finances until it's time to look at their finances, or they're going in somewhere trying to get financed. And that's the wrong time to do it. You need to do it and plan. Like if you're thinking like an investor, investors plan. So you have to plan out what it is that your finances look like. So you first and foremost, you have to have a budget. What's coming? A lot of people know what's coming in, but a lot of times we don't know what's coming out. Those subscriptions and the things that we forget to, skip the month and all those things, the Netflix and the internet, all these different stuff that's pulling and tugging at us. You have to take a glimpse at your finances and your budget. What's coming in, what's going out, and what can I eliminate? So once again, budget. What's coming in, what's coming out, what can I eliminate? And then the last thing is, how can I add? Because in this day and age, multiple streams of income is not something that's cliched, it's a necessity. Because I've learned from my own experiences, the rug can be pulled off from under you in a 9 to 5. Because it has happened to me. I was standing in my classroom teaching my students and got fired. Well, I didn't get fired, but I got surplus, as they call it. So that means that they didn't have enough students to service my income. So I had to, not only did I lose my job that day, I had to go to HR, have a conversation with them because they thought I was going to like go postal or something. And then I had to go to a job fair, all in a 2-3 hour span. So you have to realize that things can occur, and it's not just what I'm saying or what other people are saying, and it's not cliche. It's even if those of you that are spiritual and you follow, the Bible, it's in the Bible. Ecclesiastes, okay? It's in Ecclesiastes. It's a whole thing, okay, about having those 7 streams of income, not 7, but 8, okay? So, that's getting off on the other thing, but that's what I'm saying. So you plan by looking at your budget, what's coming in, what's coming out, what can you eliminate, what can you add. So that's the second thing. So mindset, okay, the 3 ways, thinking about, home ownership, how to shift from being that, renter to homeowner, thinking like an investor, and are you really ready? Then it's looking at your finances, looking at your budget, what's coming in, what's coming out, what can you eliminate, what can you add? Then on top of that, what is your savings looking like? Now, a lot of people have a misconception about, oh, no money down, no money down, I can buy a home. Yes, but they still want you to have a cash reserve. And what is that? Savings. So you have to have 3 months of your mortgage saved in order to use these programs. All these first-time home buyer programs. And it's not, let me not say first-time home buyer. You can have bought a home and still use these programs. Um, I bought a home before. I could still go out and use them. You have to just wait a certain amount of time, depending on what a program you use, FHA or conventional, or whatever the case may be. They have time frames where you can do, but you can still use the programs because this is government money. We're having government money just sit around and sit there because people are not utilizing it, right? And I know it was the interest rates and all of that, but as you can see, things are starting to decline. So interest rates are going to start to decline. Housing prices are going to start to regulate. So you need to get ready. So you got to have the savings, right? So 3 months. So once you do your budget, you can see how much you can afford. That's the whole point of doing your budget because, well, to see what's going on and coming in, what you can eliminate and what you can add, but also knowing what you can afford. So once you know what you can afford, that money is put aside for 3 months. Now, a lot of you get tax returns. You can use your tax return and have that money instantly. You just have to show that you have it. I'm just saying. A lot of times you can take the money out of your 401k without penalty. So I did it. So that's how I know. I have other clients that I work with that have done it as well. To buy a home, you can borrow from your 401k and it's without penalty. So, it's so many different avenues and ways you can get this money. But in order for you to get it from your 401k, you already have to have a house under contract. They have to see that first. But income tax is coming around. So if you have a problem with your, finances where you think you couldn't save it and you want to be a homeowner by March or April, May, June, use your tax refund to have those 3 months of savings. So, and another thing about your finances is paying off your debt. Typically, when your credit score is lower, because you can buy a home with a 600 credit score, you can buy a home with a 580 credit score. I don't suggest it because your interest rate is higher, but the caveat to that is a home can help build your credit and boost your credit score, and you can go back and refinance later. Buy the house. But with the 580, of course, you will have to put money down. But with the 600, you have FHA programs with just 600, and that you can get the first time home buyer programs and all of that. They're starting to lower the limits because they want to help you. So if we keep lowering the bar, I should say if they keep lowering the bar, that means that it's room for everybody to get in. Of course, I suggest that you get your credit score up to the 700s, mainly the 740 and up range, because between the 740 and the 850, there's no significant difference in your interest rate. Really, 700 is really no significant difference. It's once you drop below that is where you see the significant difference. And they're predicting that the interest rates are going to be like in the fives towards the spring summer. So that's giving you more incentive. But a lot of people get caught up on the interest. Let me get back to what I was saying. So debt payoff, because I get off on that. But debt payoff is essential because you have to have 40% of your debt to income. Okay, so you have to have 60% of your income versus 40% of your debt. Usually, typically, depending on what your credit score is, a lot of mortgage lenders and everybody has changed it. But typically, when you have a lower credit score under that 700 range, that 40% debt to income is what it is. If you have a higher credit score, because sometimes debt is good. Sometimes people have good debt. So if you have good debt, they see that, then you can have a higher debt to income ratio because they see that you either have cash flow coming in or it's good debt that is financing something for your business or whatever the case may be, right? Because sometimes your business stuff is on your personal. But you just have to know what your debt is. And if you have any, I should say that part. So looking at your debt to income ratio. The third thing is looking at your credit report and seeing if you have any negative items. Lenders don't want to see charge-offs, collections, evictions, foreclosures, judgments. Bankruptcies are okay if they have been discharged for 2 years, but you have to write a letter explaining, they'll tell you how to write it, explaining what happened and then why it's not going to happen again and all of that. So some programs don't even care if you are in the bankruptcy. So they don't want to see those type of things, repossessions, any type of collections or late payments. Late payments is a big thing too. So no late payments. So you have to make sure that you don't have any of those negative items on your credit report because yes, your credit score is important, but your credit profile is even more important. The credit score start the conversation, but the credit report, the actual file will get you the home. So you have to just make sure that you understand that part. And if you have negative items, I can definitely help you with that. Or see a credit repair service that you feel comfortable with. But our services are phenomenal. I use them myself. So, because I had a 567 credit score when I first started my real estate business. And using our services, I ended up getting a 93-point increase within the first 40 days. But I had 3 bankruptcies, y'all. I'm being transparent. I had 3 bankruptcies. So yeah, it took me a minute to get but the 567 and 93, and then about 8 months later, I had a 700. That's because the second bankruptcy fell off, increased my credit score. The third one, it took a little bit more time. So, because it was fresher, but make sure that you are knowing these things. And a lot of times people are not looking at their finances and you're a victim of identity theft. People are taking people with lower credit scores, using their profile to create alternate profiles to do criminal activity, to buy stuff. My friend had a house in New York on her credit report that she didn't even know. So you have to be mindful of those things when you're talking about looking at your credit profile, because that is what gets you in the door. Another thing is not having, it's all about your credit lines too. A lot of people think that you have to use these predatory lenders. I'm not going to mention their names, but these predatory lenders or these predatory credit cards, they have these high interest rates, these annual fees and all of these different things to build your credit. No, one thing that you can do to build your credit is use what you already have. God told us to use our gifts that we already have, right? So one thing that you can use is put your rent on your credit report and use the secure products from reputable banks. You can use a secure credit card from the top tier banks, the Wells Fargo. The people, okay, the top tier banks like the Chases and you have to have a certain credit score. Now, the best one in my opinion, was Navy Federal. Navy Federal has one of the best secure credit both of them, the loans and the secure loan and the secure credit cards, because of the fact that their secure credit card turns into an unsecured credit card in 6 months, and then they double what you already have. So, for instance, if you put $1,000 on it, and I always suggest that you always start with 500 or more, because there's no significant move in your credit score if you only do it for $200, $300. $1,000 is best though. So if you start off with 1,000, and you do what you're supposed to do for within those 6 months, maybe Federal give you another 1,000, turn it to an unsecured, and you'll have $2,000 credit line. So when you're looking for secure products, ask the question: how long does it take to turn it into a unsecured credit card, and what do you do they increase your credit limit or whatever the case may be? Bank of America takes a year. I know, because I've had both Navy Federal and Bank of America. Bank of America takes a year. I think Chase is either 6 months to a year as well, because I had the Chase a long time ago. But those are ways that you can build your credit reputably without using those predatory lenders with the high interest rates, because they kill you. And using your credit card correctly, using your credit card like your debit card, buy the groceries, buy the gas, pay your cell phone bill, pay the internet bill, whatever subscriptions you got, put it on the credit card, because you already have that money coming in and it's accounted for, hopefully. And then you eliminate a bill and only have to pay one. Um, and another way, you can kind of fight that is making sure that you pay your credit cards before your reporting date. So you have a due date, a reporting date, and you have a statement date. Usually your reporting date is 2 to 3 days after the close of your statement date. So it'd be like January 1st and February 1st or whatever. You want to pay your credit cards within that time frame, because you want to report the lowest balance as possible. Because when you're buying a home, your credit cards can only be like 6 to 7% utilization. 30% is optimum when you're trying to like buy a car, get into the financing or whatever. But when it comes to a house, 6 to 7% is what they want to see utilization. Um, so you want to keep it at that. Every time it reports, you want to either keep it at that 6 to 7%, and you have to use your credit because they'll take it away from you. But that's another story for a different day. So, like I said, let me recap. Mindset shift, 1. Okay. 2, looking at your finances as far as budgeting, saving, and debt. 3, looking at your credit profile, because that is so essential, and knowing what has to be on there and what doesn't supposed to be on there. Another thing about the credit profile, these lenders don't want to see a whole bunch of authorized users, 1 or 2. Now, it all depends on your age, because one of my lender friends who's been doing it for 30 years said, if you are a particular age, if you are under the age of, they say 28 and under, then having a whole lot of authorized users are okay, like, but not too much. You still have to have at least, 2 to 3 things in your name. As an adult, past that, they don't want to see it. They don't want to see you 4, 5, 6 authorized users. They want to see at least 4 to 6 credit lines in your name. So just be mindful of that part. So the fourth thing is, you once you look at your finances and everything, start manifesting. Okay, go start looking at houses. Okay, start seeing, once you know your budget, start looking at houses. Go ahead and look at it and see what's out there, what it looks like for you. So then you can go back and reassess your finance and see what else you need to do if you want to increase or decrease. Because a lot of times when you get approved for your mortgage, they'll give you the top or whatever, but you don't have to take the top. So just start shopping, start going to open houses, start looking around, start knowing. Um, so I would say that would be 4th. And the 5th thing is study it. I know that's like study the home buying process. Okay. A lot of people, just want everybody to tell them what to do. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe. I am a reputable, okay, real estate professional, but still don't believe me. Go out and don't trust nobody's information but your own. The lender as well. Know about the different loan products. Know about the home buying process. Know about what it's going to take for you to get the home. know these things. Okay, it's an FHA, which is a federal loan. You got FHA. You have what's the other one? The one that goes for the rural areas. I can't think of it right now. Ooh, had a brain fart. But you have one that's considered rural areas that you can go, and it's considered like the suburbs. So if it has a 20 to 30,000 population or below, you can use that government program. So you have different government programs. You have conventional programs that are offered by different banks and lenders. So they even have a bank in Memphis that's doing 101%. Okay, down payment, closing, everything. So shout out to my Memphis people. So I'm not sure if it's nationwide, but I know in Memphis they're offering that program where you don't have to bring nothing, but of course you got to show your savings. So take advantage of all this opportunity that's out here. The interest rates is about to fall, housing prices is about to be regulated, and they're predicting it might be some foreclosures. So you might be able to slide in there with that too. So just know, okay, just take this, hopefully, just let me know with some good information. I should say, put some fire in the comments. Let me know this is some good information. Share this with someone or several people. Share it on your page or whatever. But I just wanted, let me recap. So the 5 things: mindset shift from renter to homeowner. What does that look like? Well, you have to first and foremost get your mind ready to take on the responsibility. 2, think like an investor, and 3, are you really ready? Ask yourself the question to take on the responsibility. The second thing is, what are your finances looking like? What are you strategically planning? Do you have a budget? Do you have savings? Do you know what your debt looks like? Those things. And 3, look at your credit profile. What's on your credit profile? Okay, your credit profile is essential. Do you have negative items? Do you have enough credit lines? Do you have, all from reputable banks, top tier banks, credit unions? That's what they want to see. If you need to build credit, you can put your rent on there. You can use secured products that change into unsecured products from reputable banks. Credit unions, like I said, Navy Federal is one of the ones that I've used before, and one of the quickest turnarounds. It takes 6 months. So if you want to buy a home in June, you should be knocking on Navy Federal door right now. Well, I should say, if you want to buy a home in, later, because they got to, kind of process through. But it's still the fastest. Bank of America takes a year. Secured loans, secured credit cards that turn into unsecured, putting your rent on there. Those are some of the best ways to build your credit, and paying your bills on time and paying them in the right way, using it in the right way. Fourth thing, go shopping. Once you figure out what you can afford, go shopping and see what's out there. And then you can make an assessment of what you want to do. And fifth thing is, do your research. Know the ins and outs of the process. Know the ins and outs of the different programs, so you can have an understanding, and you can ask the right questions and pick the right people for this process. So I just want to come through with that today. So I bid you adieu. You'll see me in these social media streets putting out some reels and stuff. I got to do my recap of my vacation. So I'm going to definitely do that, and rest, y'all. Get some rest. It's the end of the year. It's time to be, if you are a business owner, a lot of people do their whole entire year plan, but they plan for the first quarter and the second and third quarter. They don't wait till the fourth. But now is the time to start planning, because I get a lot of people that come to me that want to change their status. But are you strategically planning? Are you have the mindset? Are you shifting your mindset to thinking as an investor? Because you should. Okay. So I will speak to you all later. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Like I said, share, like, give me some love, and I'll see you later. Have a blessed day.